Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. It is Wednesday, July 17th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey, the geriatric, the puppet, the child sniffer, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs, looks for dead people in the crowd, converses with dead people, yet we're told that that's not happening. Those are all cheap fakes, deep fakes. Falls off his bicycle standing stationary, trips over a sandbag at a graduation ceremony, can't get himself back up. But don't worry, you guys, this guy's fit. We're told so by his doctor, by his physician that does business dealings with him and his family. Folks, this guy takes money from China, Romania, Ukraine, and we're told he's clean. There's nothing wrong with Joe. Folks, Joe Biden is as clean as a diaper. This guy is by far, not even close, the worst president in American history. Patriots! It's great being back with you on this fun Wednesday morning, and boy, oh boy, is the chat already blowing up live. We got Pat, we got Danielle, we got Kathleen, we got Devil's Advocate, we got Robert in the house, we got Bobby Martin, Nick Woolley, we got Secret Agent always there helping us, Karen, Kat, Autumn, Kathy, Dana, we got everybody here, we got Golden Girl. We got a lot of people joining us here, folks. We got a lot of video clips for you today. Probably more video clips than actual articles. Where Joe Biden's visiting Nevada. We got Joe Biden interviews. We got the media still having their freaking meltdown. And I would say kind of already reverting back to their 2016 selves. So here we are again, the media acting disgusting, acting corrupt, not willing to answer questions. I know this is nothing new. We didn't expect the tide to turn. I just didn't expect it to turn so quickly. Where, as you just saw the other day, where MSNBC is showing up to Donald Trump Jr. and asking him 48 hours after his father was just shot in the head in an assassination attempt if he's still going to sit there and separate children from families. I mean, this is how sick the media are, you guys. And we got a lot of clips that are showing even people on the progressive side of the aisle saying that they think this whole thing was staged still. They don't think it was real. They think it was Hollywood. Folks, this is how far these people have gone. And I've said it's not a surprise. And I'm going to give since everybody's here right on time, I might as well give those that are here a little bit of a gem. The same people that are saying Joe Biden is sharp, the same people that are saying Joe Biden is fit to hold office are the same people that are saying that Donald Trump's assassination was staged. Folks, they're psycho here, they're psycho here, they're psycho everywhere, okay? It makes sense why they're saying that it's staged. This ain't up here either. The guy that they're saying is, here, mentally? No, neither are they. Well, let's get to some fun stuff, huh? We've been having a lot of downer news the last few days. We might as well get to some good stuff here, folks. A little bit of laughable stuff. You might find it not so laughable because it is sad at the end of the day how they're chauffeuring Joe Biden out. But Joe Biden's at a market, you guys. Oh, he's at a market in Nevada. So wild. Now, it's tough to see, but I want you to really kind of zoom in on Joey here and tell me if he knows or looks like he knows what the hell's going on. This is what a person looks like when they're coming from, like, I don't know, a place in the middle of nowhere in the globe. They've never encountered civilization, and they walk into a grocery store for the first time. Joe. Watch. Sorry, where the fuck am I? How did I get here? What? Who the hell are you guys? Oh. It's this part that gets me. It's this part right here. He's talking to a guy, right? Like, this part, he looks like he knows what's going on. And then, I don't know, 2 seconds later, he's like, Where am I? How did I get here? He gets teleported. Watch. Right here. Everything's gone. Later. Oh, shit. And sir, no, we're going this way. Oh. Man. Oh, yeah, good morning. Good morning, Jerry. Oh, somebody tell Joe good morning. He don't know what's going on. It is awkward. Yes, it is. It's very weird. It's awkward. He's doing the T-Rex arm, like, I think he might be seeing dead people still. Stacy, I think he's seeing dead people. Could be more than happy to have you guys in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button. Leave us a comment, folks. Commenting does help tremendously. People are saying in the feed that, hey, he's so lost. He must be shocked at the high prices. That's how we all feel. It just shows you this guy, obviously he's the president, doesn't go grocery shopping, but it gets worse, you guys. That was just the first clip of the day. That was nothing. Look at this one. He is completely gone. He is not with anybody here. He don't know what's happening.
It's triple what we had over there. And I'm like, oh, we're never going to sell this stuff. But surprisingly, this neighborhood is thirsty for a store where they can get stuff they can get any other part of town that they couldn't get in this side of town. You know, almond milk, just different types of cheeses that we never carried. Because one, we didn't have the room, and then we did over here, I thought, oh, I'm going to go bankrupt. But it's worked out great. We've almost doubled our business. You know, they told me when I came over here,
oh, the same people that are telling us that Donald Trump's assassination was staged are the same people that think this guy is fit, man. That he's the sharpest thing out there. That he could solve calculus upside down, blindfolded. It's just... this is what we deal with in the media. This is what we deal with our friends in the Democrat side of the aisle. This is clearly elder abuse. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, it has been for quite some time. So he gets trotted out. You know, he's walking around Nevada trying to figure out where the hell he's at, you know. And then they take him out to do some speaking engagements as well. And I'm sure you can guess, just based on him walking through a grocery store, how these speaking engagements went. So, holy Lord, I'm hitting you guys with this stuff hard in the morning. But he says, we are also improving. The Wall Street didn't build America, and the plan isn't working. Now, if this sounds like I'm cutting in and out, no, that's just Joe Biden's brain cutting in and out. That's not our feed. That's Joey here. So, Patriots, love hanging out with you in the morning, but here's the president. Just, holy Lord, he figured it out.
We're also improving. The Wall Street didn't build America. The middle class built America. And unions built the middle class.
Can we watch it again? One more time. Roll it again.
The plan is working.
Can we roll it?
We're also improving. The Wall Street didn't build America. The middle class built America. And unions built the middle class.
Poor guy. You guys, here's a teleprompter, okay? Really no slack is given. It tells him what to say and how to say it. It's going at a slow mode for him, you know. It's not like overly bearing. You know, the guy that probably is running the teleprompter is one of the highest paid people out there in the world. Just don't screw it up, please. Joe's on his last leg. Oh boy, that was only the third clip of the day, you guys. I got a whole bar filled up. So he's out there lying once again. I see somebody posted a graph in the chat. Well, here's Joey saying that rents are down even though they're up 22%.
We're continuing to take corporate greed, take it on, getting our rents down. We're continuing to take corporate greed, take it on, getting our rents down.
Getting our rents down. He claims getting our rents down. Joe, you've been in office for 3.5 years, man. You're going to see a constant theme here of like, this is what I'm going to do if I'm reelected. You're president now. You still have like 6 months left. Like, Joe, the job's not over, buddy. Yeah, you can start working on this now. You don't have to wait till next year. If you vote for me, you just might get me to do something. Oh, okay, I see how it works now. Gotcha. All right. Now, rents are up 22%, you guys. Don't believe anything this guy's saying. This whole idea like inflation's down, it's not. Even if you look year over year, let's be generous here for Joe. Let's all be Democrats for a second. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Let's just pretend that inflation's like 2%. We generally want to see year over year inflation around 1 to 2%. Okay, that's normal. Since Joey's been in office, things are like 20% plus higher. Grocery, energy. We showed the list last week. Things are not cheaper by any means under Joey. We are all being royally effed. And the media, the Democrat Party, are making it seem like everything's fine. He's going to fix it, you guys. He broke it and he can't fix it. So Biden, mind you, who's already served more than 100 days, right, says he's going to make sure you own more and you owe less in his first 100 days. Joey. Yeah. Hey. Good job. Joey. You're president now. Yeah, I know. It's a shock, I know. No, it's not Kamala. Joe, stop it. It's you. Okay. Okay. What's that smell? Is that your diaper? We'll get it fixed after this. Joe, you're president now. Okay. Yes, 6 months. It's more than 100 days. Do it now. Like you like that, Joe. You can do it now. How do you like it? I'm Batman. All right, here we go.
Agenda, and I'm not going to keep it real long. We're going to make sure you own more and you owe less. Look, let me tell you my 100-day agenda, and I'm not going to keep it real long.
Just so powerful, you know? You just really feel it with Joe, you know what I mean? The energy, right? The physical finesse this guy has, the intellectual, just, I want you to really sit back. You guys are cracking me up in the chat. This is why I can't look at it too much. You really feel that this guy, just the power that he could really take on Putin and others, right? Just watch even the first 5 seconds. I really feel it from this guy.
Look, let me tell you my 100-day agenda, and I'm not going to keep it real long. We're going to make sure.
You know, can I just rephrase this a little bit? Like put it in layman's terms, like we're just average Joe people, you know what I mean? We're just average patriots here. I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to tell you what he's really saying.
Look, let me tell you my 100-day agenda, and I'm not.
He goes, well, we might as well fucking get to it. Well, let me get to my 100-day agenda. That's basically what he's saying. Like, I don't, like, what a not give a shit attitude. Am I not right? You got Trump going out, we're going to make America great again. You can't take off my ear, bitches. It looks better than ever. I actually wanted to get my ear redone. I actually wanted to get it redone, believe it or not. It was a sore on my face, but I fixed it. You guys fixed it. Oh, boy. That's not a joke on Trump. You guys know we love Trump here. We're voting for him again. So Biden goes on, and honestly, you guys, I'm not even going to bother reading the quote. I just want you to listen to this guy ramble through his words and talk about some sort of train out there.
Like America First high-speed rail line. That's going to take you from Las Vegas to Los Angeles in 2 hours, create over 30,000 jobs, and guess what? Save billions of tons because of pollution. Because people, all the studies show, you can get from point A to point B in a train or a vehicle the same distance, you take the train. All like America.
Yep, people are voting for that guy again. Don't worry, we'll see the people that are voting for Joe. You guys, we got it all set up for you today. Like I could have been more excited to do the show. Not that I'm excited any other day, but I just want you to sit through this again because let's really take in who the Democrats are voting for. People are going to go like out of their way, right? It's hard enough to get people to go out in general, to go out to the grocery store, right? They're all doing these Uber Eats, spending all this crazy money, folks. They're going to sit there in vans and go out of their way. Some of them are going to actually commit voter fraud, like break the law to vote for this guy, believe it or not. They're going to go in there and vote at the top of the ticket. It'd make more sense not to vote for this guy at all, right? I get the idea that people don't like Trump. We love him here, baby. I love Trump. But I get the idea why people wouldn't vote for Trump. But to go out of your way and punch the ticket for this guy is a whole nother level, in my opinion.
America First high-speed rail line. That's going to take you from Las Vegas to Los Angeles in 2 hours, create over 30,000 jobs, and guess what? Save billions of tons because of pollution. Because people, all the studies show, you can get from point A to point B in a train or a vehicle.
Now, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this. There's a thing called the high-speed rail in the state of California that Gavin Newsom is trying to build. Folks, it's a scam. It's a scheme. They stole hundreds of billions of dollars. It's not happening. If it is happening, nobody's going to take it. It was for his elite buddies so they can all get paid in the same way his elite buddies are getting paid to solve the homeless crisis. We all seen how that happened. It's a scam. That's all this government is a freaking scam. They're swampy, they're disgusting, and Joe Biden's the head of it. It gets worse, you guys. He goes on and he sits there and he says that he's going to end Trump's tax cuts. If this isn't a gift from the heavens to vote for Donald Trump, I don't know what is. Now, many of you know that I was a public accountant before. That doesn't mean I'm going to say I know everything about accounting. A lot of it's left me, unfortunately, because I don't do it day in and day out. I don't remember my debits and credits even at this point. But what I can tell you is that if you remove Trump's tax cuts, that whole shifting of your deductions, your personal exemption, flowing into your standard deduction, making things a little bit easier, on average, Americans did save about 3%. If those are gone, not only are you losing those 3%, but he's also removing credits and deductions on top of that, like really good credits and deductions that are going to make you owe even more. So it's more than 3%. This is really bad. That's all I can explain. This is really bad if he does it.
We're going to end Trump's... I don't want to get going here. We're going to end Trump's tax cuts for the very wealthy and big corporations so they start paying their fair share. I kept my commitment so no one could say I was going after people with money. I kept my commitment that no one making less than $400,000 a year would pay a single penny more in federal taxes. We're going to end Trump's... I don't want to get going.
I just... People believe this. That's the... And understandably so, because a lot of people don't understand taxes. Not only are you having to owe $11,000 more to live the same way you are under Joe Biden than you did under Donald Trump. You have to make $11,000 roughly more. On top of that, you lost under Joe Biden. You might have made it back now because the economy has kind of rebounded a little bit. You lost around $4,000 plus in your retirement. And you're paying more at the grocery store. So you're about to get reamed 3 to 5% of your taxes, and that's being generous. Plus the idea that you are paying 20 to 30% more for everything. Nothing is going well for Americans on an individual level. They keep saying, well, the economy's doing great. The economy doesn't always roll into the pockets of Americans. You know, you're taking the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, like the Industrial 30, like all these things doesn't necessarily mean that rolls into Americans' wallets and pocketbooks. They could still be feeling it, and the economy could still be doing well. They could still be spending the same they were spending before, but nothing's really changed in terms of them getting more of a product because everything's more expensive. So he's just blatantly, at least he's being truthful there that he's going to remove your tax cuts. He's lying with the idea like, oh, we're going to sit there and, build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. Like, again, what do you mean by the middle out? Like, what's this way? You know what I mean? You guys see me doing that on camera. I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, bottom up, middle out. What's this and this? He can't explain it. He just says things. I've got a fair share. What is the fair share? We got a lot of patriots in the chat. We got a lot of intellectual people in the chat. What does he mean by fair share? I've been asking this question for probably 8 years now because Bernie Sanders keeps talking about it. The Waltons, the Walmarts, the billionaires. Like, what is the fair share? Like, what is that percentage? Or how did you get to that calculation that's determining that this is what's equivalent to the wealthy's fair share? They pay almost all net tax for us. You know what I mean? Like we're to be honest, we're making it out pretty good. I'm not the top 1%, never have been, never probably will be. I hope I am one day. That'd be great. But the top 1% is paying virtually all net, we'll say top 30%. Let's be generous. The top 30% is paying all taxes in the United States. So all this money we're spending, yeah, it's coming from the top 30% of the country. So what about the bottom 70%? Well, it's obviously not as much as the top 30. So let's get to some good news here. Let's get to Donald Trump laughing. Okay, you saw Joe Biden fumbling, rambling through his words. Let's get to some actual good news here. It's nice to see Donald Trump smiling and laughing. This is him last night at the RNC during Ron DeSantis' speech. And Ron gets him the crack here, which is nice. We want to see Donald Trump especially after the horrific event that happened to him just the other day. Here he is getting a nice laugh from Ron.
America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him laugh. You know what I mean? Good to see him laugh. And it was a funny joke, and Ron was able to make it do it. You know, we all understand politics. You know what I mean? We all knew what was coming when Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, all these people got on the stage and started going after Donald Trump because they need to set themselves aside. I mean, that's what goes on in politics. A lot of people are pissed that Nikki Haley shows up and endorses Donald Trump, but we knew that was going to happen. It's not a shock to anybody. We all know how this goes. They talk crap on one another. They're trying to make each other look bad because they want to win, and that's what they do. And then at the end of the day, we all expected them to rally behind whoever the nominee was going to be at the RNC. So for people going, well, screw Nikki, look what she said to Trump. You know, you guys were willing to really quick be okay with J.D. Vance being vice president. He was a never Trumper. J.D. Vance is on camera, has tweets. He was a never Trumper. And everyone's like, oh, I love J.D. Look what he's doing. I love him so much. He wrote a book. Great. I'm not hounding the guy by any means, but I'm just saying if we're so easily able to turn the tide for somebody that was a never Trumper, you know, inviting Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and everybody back into the fold, I think is well within our means and probably something that I would go as far to say that we should do. And I think everybody can get behind that. And we all understand politics, you know. We could say, well, they didn't mean it. I'm sure they meant some things in the same way Trump hounds people and he means things, you know, his way too when he talks crap on people. And, you know, we kind of like that about Mr. Trump. But if you didn't notice, folks, we're cleaning up the beard a little bit, little by little. I actually need to clean this bottom part up today. And you're damn right, I'm going to be using Patriot Shave, baby. Let me tell you all about this sponsor. They are backed by 2,000 5-star customer reviews and a satisfaction guarantee. Patriot Shave offers premium quality razors at affordable prices. You guys know I'm a cheap ass. So I want to find something that's cheap, but I also want to find something that's going to cut through the grain here because you guys know this is a thick-ass beard with thick-ass hair. So with that, they are a freedom-loving company that loves standing for your traditional American values and fighting wokeness. While other big-name razor brands may salute flags or support causes that don't align with your values, like saluting these rainbow flags and all this other stuff, Patriot Shave is here for you, the hardworking men and women who love this country and who don't want your hard-earned money to support woke causes. So throw that cash, not at woke razors, but at patriotshave.com. Right now, you can use SWITCH, SWITCH, for 15% off. Folks, we need these discounts because we're in Bidenomics right now. These discounts make it like we're living back in 2016 when things were good under Donald Trump. PatriotShave.com, use code SWITCH. PatriotShave.com, use code SWITCH. If it works for me, I got sensitive skin, man, so it's going to work for you. It will cut through. Hell, you could chop down a forest with those razors, let me tell you. Well, things get even better here with a little bit of behind the scenes with Donald Trump, and this is what the media doesn't want you to see, quite frankly. These types of videos, the media don't show you. And so this is Donald Trump Jr. on his cell phone recording behind the scenes of J.D. Vance, Eric Trump, I think Laura Trump's in there, Donald Trump Jr. And you just see a fatherly figure of Donald Trump himself just hanging out with people and, you know, kissing them, telling them they love him, stuff like that. Here we go.
How's he playing on X? Excellent. And how's he playing on Truth? Much more important. That's right. He's doing good on Truth, right? All right. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Oh, look at this guy. He's gonna put me on television. You gotta capture it all, baby. He's gonna put me on television. Come here. Bye, sweetheart. Come here, my boy.
When he thinks outside the box, it's the cardboard one he lives in. Founder of Studio TSC.com, Michael Loftus. He's that likable.
It's just nice to see the president in good spirits. I mean, anybody, quite frankly. Like I said, even if this horrendous act was to happen to Joe Biden, I would want to see behind the scenes of him and his family. Even though I'm not a fan of Trump, you know, Jill and all these things, like, they're still human beings with people that love them. And I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. you know, he has his family there supporting him. His sons are there that he couldn't be more proud of. And again, this is the side of the media, or the side that the media doesn't want you to see, that I want to make sure I present to my audience, that these are guys hanging out, you know what I mean? And you see how Donald Trump Jr. just loves his father. And it's such a man's man type of group. And let me explain what I mean by that. Guys tend to talk shit on one another a lot. And that's kind of a sign that we like each other, but it's also a sign to see and size each other up on, can they handle certain things? I don't know if that's primitive or what, but we joke with one another a lot. And some people might think, wow, these people are just assholes to each other, but that's how guys are. So when I'll share a story with you. When Donald Trump got shot, right, on an assassination attempt on the 13th, one of the first things Donald Trump Jr. asked them was, how was his hair? I mean, people were hounding Donald Trump Jr. for saying that to his father. Like, how could you say that to your father when he was just almost killed? But they don't understand how guys work. And there's certain guys like Trump that's their type of humor, you know, making fun of them or like breaking the ice. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely like that, where I laugh at everything. I love humor. I love those types of jokes. So I would be very similar to Donald Trump Jr. and Trump himself, where that type of humor is funny. Like, he just almost got shot and you're asking him how his hair was. I mean, I think we can all see the comedy behind it, but the left doesn't, right? The left doesn't think stuff like that's funny because they're a bunch of woke people. We got a shout out here. I really do appreciate that. Sunset mentioned that you received my book yesterday and you're impressed so far. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're appreciating the book. If you guys weren't aware, we got a lot of new subscribers. We do have a book called Trojan Horse: How the Left is Destroying America. Today's Amazon Prime Day. I haven't looked at the deal. I don't control the deals on Amazon. I have a publishing company that does all that. It has been 20% off. I'd say grab it if you can. There might be even a better deal. And yeah, like Agent 355 says, toss us a 5-star review over at Amazon. We would greatly appreciate that. And maybe take a picture and upload it to Amazon as well. Anything would be greatly helpful, but I'm really glad you're enjoying it. There's a lot of hidden gems in there, a lot of stuff you're not going to get in history books. And like I said, I can't wait till you get to the debunking police brutality chapter, because I did like 60 years of research on that bad boy. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. Well, here is my boy, Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm not going to play his entire speech because it's like 10 minutes long. But man, he is so good. Vivek is just so freaking good at what he does. Here he is talking about the RNC last night, and man, he has the crowd going.
Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American. And you know what? If you're at home and you disagree with everything I just said, our message to you is this: we will still defend to the death your right to say it, because that is who we are as Americans. We are the country where we can disagree like hell and still get together at the dinner table at the end of it. That is the America I know. That is the America we miss. We do not have to be ancient Rome. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We can still be a nation in our ascent. A nation whose best days, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, a nation whose best days are actually still ahead of us. Still on our way to that shining city on a hill.
Man, he's so good. There was when I was here this morning, kind of waiting to go live, I want to see if we could play it. God, it was so funny. He's doing a Texas GOP breakfast, and he has on this jacket. I'm trying to load it for you to see if it will work. He has on this jacket, but he has on a cowboy hat, and the cowboy hat's crooked like he's Woody. And they ended up, they're not willing to show it, but he's giving a speech right now, man. That guy's doing so much for Trump, you guys. I would say he's doing more for Trump by going out and doing these speaking engagements than a lot of Republicans are, a lot of senators and congressmen and women. So he has been relentless at this RNC doing speaking engagements live. So he'll go like he's doing like breakfast right now, and then I'm sure he's going to go on somebody's podcast, and then he's going to hop over and do a lunch, and then he's going to hop over and do a podcast. He'll hop in and do a primetime show. He's going to hop on stage and do a speech. I mean, this guy does it all, man. He is And he is so impressive to me, not just what he's doing here, but from his writings to his books to him running a business. I mean, he is a remarkable person. And I think Trump would be doing a very big disservice to the American people by not having him more involved in his administration in terms of maybe a cabinet or like you guys. I think I'm sold on that Secretary of State position. I think I really am. So if you guys weren't aware here, wow, we're just now 30 minutes in getting to our first article. There was a leak of Trump and RFK call. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Trump says he's going to win and RFK agrees. Now, part of this phone call, too, was Donald Trump talking to RFK about the assassination attempt and what it was like being shot in the ear. And there's not too many people out there that Trump could probably talk to that has had a relative be assassinated, multiple relatives at that point. And so you had this taking place, and he says, we're going to win. We are way ahead of the guy Biden. Trump could be heard saying the Daily Mail first reported, adding that Kennedy Jr. responded, yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that he believes it, but it could be something to carry the conversation forward. Trump spoke of his recent call with Biden, saying he's very nice, actually. He called and he said, how did you choose to move to the right? Well, I mean, he was just looking at the prompter. Trump assumed the question was about his head movement that saved him from being killed by the shooter's bullet. He said he told Biden he was looking straight on. I was just showing a chart. Trump laughed at Kennedy. I didn't have to tell him the chart. It was about all the people pouring into our country, right? But I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It sounded like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. What do they call that? An AR-15 or something? That's a big gun. Pretty tough guns, right? I mean, yeah, Mr. Trump, that was a 5.56, my dude. That's a bullet that does damage. Sir, you survived a 5.56. So Kennedy said this when President Trump, might as well let's go to the actual tweet itself. Let's be consistent. When President Trump called me when I was tapping with an in-house videographer, I should have ordered the videographer to stop recording immediately. I am mortified that this was posted. I apologize to the president. You know, what a nice thing to come out and apologize, you know, and he didn't know, and or allegedly didn't know. And I don't think anything out there that was bad about the phone call. It's nice to see that these people are human beings at the end of the day. And I think it was a good call, and nice that RFK was willing to talk to him. And maybe RFK might have a place in the Biden administration. Who knows? So what's going on then with the Secret Service? So let me give you guys some updates here. Man, I don't know the congressional hearing, if it's for sure Monday or Tuesday. I saw from Lauren Boebert on the Twitter space that they're having difficulties getting people in on Monday. Things might be happening Tuesday. Either day, we will be live for the entire congressional hearing. Doesn't matter. So probably towards the end of the week, I'll be able to tell you guys concretely what day it's going to be on. But with that being said, we do know the Secret Service is being looked into. And this one ain't going to make you guys very happy. This comes from the Daily Wire. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle told ABC News on Monday, this is just remarkable. This is just a remarkable statement. The reason why there was no security personnel atop the structure where the gunman shot former President Donald Trump was because of safety concerns about the slope of its roof. Now, these people are so incompetent. The snipers that shot the guy, allegedly, those snipers were on a slanted roof. We saw the two snipers that were being ripped, right, for not shooting the guy fast enough. They're on a slanted roof. This is such an insane thing. This is the lady that was basically, before she was the director of the Secret Service, was working for PepsiCo. She was basically a glorified security guard at PepsiCo. No, she's qualified. This is what DEI does, you guys. This is why DEI not just cripples our military and not just cripples corporations, but it also cripples the Secret Service that is in the position of protecting the President of the United States. They lowered the standards in the same way the military lowered the standards. If you can't throw a body over your shoulder like a man, you have no business being in the military then, in terms of actually being on the front lines like infantry. Maybe you can go fly an aircraft, or maybe you could sit there and paperwork, administration. Like if I was to go in the military, I wouldn't be allowed to be infantry. My shoulder's too bad. So I'd be doing probably paperwork. Now I have a master's degree, so I'd be like an officer or something like that. But you guys get what I'm saying, is that there's people in this position that have no effing reason to be protecting anybody. Anybody. They couldn't even protect their husband. I mean, you saw the franticness, right? Of like I didn't know what to do when Trump was getting in the SUVs. Like, what is happening? Because there's so much chemical dopamine rushing to their head. I mean, it's like if somebody was taking you with adrenaline and just boom, gave you 2 sticks of it. They were so chemically imbalanced. They didn't know what to do. That means their training's lacking. That's the one thing that they should be experiencing, but able to work through it, more of the behavioral and cognitive side of things, and they couldn't do it. But she's going to say that building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point, dude. I know you guys try not to lose your ish here. It's only Wednesday. Wait till we get to the briefing, huh? Not today, obviously, but Monday or Tuesday. We'll see when it happens. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there that wouldn't want anybody up on the roof. It's sloped. They think we're idiots. I right now think this is an inside job. I don't give my opinion too much here on the show. I usually just show articles and say this is what somebody said in the past. Right now, in my mind, the probability of something like this happening where a guy allegedly walked a mile. Now, again, this is all alleged, you guys, so please don't go spread this with your friends like, oh, this guy bought Brad. No, I heard him say this guy walked a mile with a ladder and AR-15, and this is what happened. Take it as a grain of salt. We don't know everything yet. I'm just telling you what I've read out there, okay? I've heard this guy walked a mile with 50 rounds, an AR-15 strapped to him, and a ladder. I've also heard the ladder was on site on top of a van, and he took it off the van and placed it himself. I've also heard that somebody placed it for him and that he was in contact with somebody on the inside, and all this was unraveling. So I find it very, very hard to believe that somebody was able to get this close to the president for 30 minutes. They knew about this guy and looking for him. They chauffeur the president out on the stage still, knowing that there's somebody out there that is of suspicious nature and that he's able to have a viewfinder, allegedly, like, sitting there and trying to track, okay, what's going on with the range. He had a range finder. He had a cell phone. He had a transmitter. That just came out today as well. There's photos of that were leaked. And he was up there he was around for 30 minutes. It doesn't mean he was on the roof for 30 minutes. We saw video yesterday, right? We played the footage of him up there for minimum 2 minutes, zeroing in on the president. That with cops just walking around, right? Hey man, there's a guy up there with a gun, and there's well, where? Just leisurely, not give a fucks. I'm gonna get riled up. So, anyways, she said the buck stops with me, but she's not gonna resign. She's not gonna resign. She has no business in that position. A lot of Secret Service says she has no business in that position. And you have an Army Ranger veteran shared a photo on Tuesday showing just how close this guy was to Donald Trump. So he says here, everyone needs to see this photo to appreciate the tactical negligence that occurred during the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. This photo was taken just minutes before the first shots were fired. Donald Trump is oriented towards the shooter at this point. Now, I want to make sure I have the photo. Let's see if we can pull it up. See, I want to try to see if I can make it bigger for you. There we go. So you have Donald Trump. He's not at the podium, okay? He is facing towards the building of which the shooter was on. Folks, to be quite frank, if you were slightly trained with like a God, you could have a mediocre 22 rifle red dot and probably hit somebody from that range. You know what I mean? The reason why I say that is I was using an example of what even I could hit with a 22 round, which is a light round that if there's wind would be blown. And if you just had a red dot or some sort of mediocre scope, you could hit something. So, I mean, that's why right, what you're seeing right now, there's not a lot of buildings. I find it very hard to believe this was not an inside job. And I'm not even so sure that something's even going to change my mind. Now, I'm into conspiracy theories, but the probability is just so low. There's not a ton of buildings to cover, and you let this happen. People are like, oh, well, it's negligence. I don't think it's negligence. I think that this was purposeful. And a lot of people think it was purposeful. A lot of people think what was happening. So the other thing here that we're hearing, speaking of it being purposeful, speaking of something foozery going on, is there's allegedly this was an Iranian assassination plot. And Donald Trump Jr. reacts to it. So let's see if we can play that's not the clip of him saying it. But anyways, he said, when people like Iran want to take you out, that probably means it's good for America, bad for Iran. This has not been confirmed, which is why I don't want to go further into it. But allegedly, this individual could have been part of an Iranian assassination plot, or the Iranians were plotting another attack because there was an individual that was apprehended with an AK-47 and a ski mask. Now, all this stuff is coming out so quickly, it's tough to really verify what exactly is attributed to what while I'm doing this in real time. But I wanted to make sure that I brought that out to all of you. That came out very late in the evening yesterday, basically 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all of you. But a lot of people were sleeping. Furthermore, editor at a major news outlet. So what we're seeing now is the media shift, and we called it. If you watch this show, you are probably a week to 3 weeks ahead of any news cycle. We said this would happen. Did we not say the media was going to have a shift? Did we not say the media was going to have a shift at some point? We didn't think that obviously was going to be an assassination attempt. Who the hell could have thought that? But we said they're going to get behind Joe Biden, but we've already seen them shift to go back against Donald Trump. They're going to zero in on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the main figure. Donald Trump is the main character of the United States, and the media want to take him down. He's like the Jesus, folks. He's not Jesus, but he's like Jesus, where they're going to sit there and hone their crosshairs on him, and quite literally and figuratively. You had, hell, Joe Biden say he's the bullseye. Now, what's being stated is that an editor said the photo is free PR for the Trump campaign and believes that it's dangerous for the media to highlight the historic photo. What was the historic photo? It was that photo there with the arm up. They don't want that photo out to the American people because it helps Donald Trump. And I'm gonna reiterate this. This is not the only thing we've seen from the media not wanting the media outlets to show the American people because it makes Donald Trump stronger. You're seeing it right now. An editor at a major news outlet is telling other outlets and the media itself to bury the iconic photo of Donald Trump. They don't want this guy in office, folks. And that's why we said at some point, if Joe Biden doesn't drop out, the media, the Democrat Party, the apparatus, the deep state is going to get behind Joe. We were ahead of this by 3 weeks. We said they were going to get behind Joe Biden. He's all of a sudden sharp again. You're not going to see his cognitive decline anymore. Nobody's going to talk about it, maybe here and there sporadically. But we always said the news cycle was going to shift back to Donald Trump being bad. Back to Donald Trump. We can't have this guy in office. They don't like him, guys. They don't want this guy back in office. They don't like anything about this guy. And what's wild is they're still pushing the same freaking narrative that not only they were in 2016 and 2020, but the same thing after Joe Biden comes out and says, hey, you know what? You need to tone down the rhetoric. You need to tone down the rhetoric. They were telling us, conservatives, Republicans, to tone down our rhetoric. We don't write anything. We just want to be left alone. It's the Democrats, the progressive left, that are writing Donald Trump's a threat. Republicans are a threat to democracy. MAGAs are extremists. They're going to sit there and take away your rights. Donald Trump is Hitler. Donald Trump is a fascist. Just yesterday at the RNC in day one, they were chanting that Trump was a fascist. They were protesting outside the RNC that Donald Trump is a fascist. And Joe Biden has the balls to tell us to change our rhetoric? Are you insane? That you spent all these years, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a xenophobe, he's the worst thing ever, look what he's doing, he's gonna tear the country apart. Like all these things, and they're gonna tell us to change, you guys. So here's the media, they're still going out saying wild shit. They're still, and there's not gonna change, folks. These people are disgusting. The media are disgusting. The host at ABC's The View made it clear on Tuesday that they were fine with inflammatory rhetoric. Oh, we have the clips. Don't worry. You guys know we bring the receipts. Come on, baby. We bring the receipts. So here's the first one. God, we got a laundry list of freaking stuff today. I love it. The View defends using incendiary and inciting rhetoric against Trump even after it led to an assassination attempt. I'm going to keep my cool. Here we go.
Is he right about there being a huge difference in the rhetoric coming out from either side?
I think so. I mean, I think one of the other things he said was, how do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says?
15 seconds in. Threat to democracy. Well, it's real. Like, reaffirming the rhetoric that this guy's a threat to democracy. Lady, your party is the one that assassinates everybody. Okay? Every person that's either had an assassination attempt on them or has been killed by an assassin was of what party? Yes, the Democrat Party. That is correctamundo. Who didn't want to end slavery? The Democrat Party, correctamundo. Who didn't want civil rights for black people? The Democrat Party, correctamundo. But somehow Republicans who just want to be left alone, don't want bigger government, want to have a threat to democracy in the republic. They're continuing. I told you this was going to happen. Were we not right?
Meaning the former president. Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody? I have not engaged in that rhetoric. Biden continued. My opponent is the one that has engaged in that rhetoric. And so I just think that calling out the truth is not turning up the heat, right? And I think it's really important.
Can we just go to that face? Hold on a second. Kind of evil, right? Maybe I'm looking too far into it. Maybe I'm playing too far into this, but that's some like Jack Nicholson, like 1992 Batman, you know, like the Joker, you know what I mean? Like that grin, like we almost got him, but I think we should be allowed to throw the word threat around. He's going to destroy democracy. Whoa. Weird, freaky stuff. I did watch the Tom McDonald sound. You guys asked me to watch it. I checked it out. It's cool.
Heat, right? And I think it's really important. Tone matters, words matter, but facts matter too. And so if you see behavior...
Does anybody else find it crazy that the View's talking about how facts matter? They wouldn't know a fact if it hit them in the face.
Or you see policy, or you see rhetoric that is inappropriate and improper, I don't think we should be silent about that, because silence can be complicity.
Yes.
Oh, so if you're silent now, you're complicit in it. Remarkable. So does that mean they were all complicit in the idea that Joe Biden's sharp? Because they pushed that. They were silent about Joe Biden being far gone. They were silent about all that stuff. So were they complicit in it? Were they complicit in Joe Biden's rhetoric then of him calling Donald Trump a threat to democracy? Absolutely, because we've seen all the clips from The View. We've seen all their psycho behavior. We've seen all their stuff. You have Sarah Haynes saying she suggests the intention is good, so the rhetoric against Trump doesn't matter. It's astonishing that people actually watch this stuff. I cringe watching it, but we got to get it on record.
I also think, though, when we're speaking of rhetoric and engaging, it's your intention. Because you see President Biden and the way I see a lot of those people, they're saying we've got to win at the polls. It's not we've got to storm the Capitol. Like, there's a difference where are you inciting mobs and followers and saying, come with me, let's do this? Or are you saying change matters, let's go use our voice at the ballot box? Right. And I see a very clear difference in the rhetoric.
Yo. I don't want to hear shit about January 6th, like, ever again. You're going to try to compare January 6th to a former president and current frontrunner of the Republican Party being assassinated or an attempt on his life as equivalent to January 6th of people walking in there and acting like idiots, breaking some windows, standing on Nancy Pelosi's desk, getting some VIP tours. We saw some of the 40,000 hours, okay? It wasn't as bad as people are making it out to be. It was bad. I'm not playing it down like, oh, it was, but it's not as bad as what the media were playing out where they kept showing the same 6 minutes of the 40,000 hours, okay? Don't even come close to equating the fact of what happened to Donald Trump to January 6th. So you have conservative, right? Conservative. Alyssa, what's her name? Alyssa, I think, Griffin, says Trump is the one who needs to show he can tamp down on rhetoric. Dude, unbelievable. Is it going to work for us here? Let's see. For some reason, it's not working. Let's see if we can get that up for you guys. I'm so sorry. For some reason, the clip's not working. I apologize. So, well, that's what she said. I'll give you the whole thing. She says it's an opportunity for the former president to take the temperature down on Thursday and show that he's capable of that. Whoopi says he'll lose his mind again. Yeah, it's Trump that needs to change the rhetoric, right? I mean, Trump does say things that are, I don't know how to put it, probably high in rhetoric, but he's always been that way. But it's not the consistency of the whole idea that, you know, he's not every day, day in and day out saying, oh, MAGA supporters are extremists or Joe Biden supporters are extremists, all these things. It's Joe Biden that's predominantly pushing this on social media. We've seen it in his speeches in front of the nation. He's already been asked specifically to his White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, if he's going to change his rhetoric. She won't answer it. Then he comes out a day later and starts using the word threat again. You know, Donald Trump should be in our bullseye. You know, all these things. It's a remarkable and wild just time that we're living in, that it's Donald Trump that needs to change his rhetoric, even though that was already kind of baked into the cake. Before we move into our next one, where we have footage from James Klug, he's a local conservative Republican in my area down in Huntington Beach, questioning Joe Biden supporters. Folks, what they say is wild. You're going to want to stick around for this one. Before we get there, though, if you haven't already, folks, you got to take care of Rumble. They're taking care of us here on the Bald Brad Show. And make sure you get their app so that you can find us. A lot of you, just the other day, I do read your comments, were saying that you weren't notified on YouTube that certain streams were uploaded, that you didn't even know that we were live. And so others were saying, hey, I knew he was live because he was over at Rumble. So once you download it, search for my channel, Bald Brad, and follow the channel directly on the app, and you'll be notified whenever we go live or upload a video. This will make sure, again, that you know whenever we go live. Click the link in the description or pinned live chat to download Rumble app and use your phone. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay for the app whatsoever. You don't have to pay for anything. And if you prefer to watch us on the big screen, and some of you do, you've told me in the chat before, you can get it on Apple TV, Android, Samsung, Fire, Roku, LG, all that stuff. So search for Rumble, folks. You can find us there, and yeah, follow us on that one. We've already moved our entire platform over to Rumble at the end of the day. They're kind of they're our main base. We actually stream from Rumble. So we use Rumble's network to stream from. And we're going to be sticking with them for a very long time, folks. Very long time. So let's get back here. Here's James Klug. I've been trying to actually honestly get together with this guy for quite some time. He's in my area, interviewing Joe Biden supporters and asking them regarding the assassination, and just listen to what they say.
False flag.
False flag.
Yeah, false flag.
Somebody died and 2 people injured. What do you think about that?
False flag.
False flag.
I thought it was magnificently staged. It was professionally done. It almost looked real.
Wait. Staged by who?
Oh, by Mr. Trump, of course.
I think this whole thing is staged.
You think it was staged?
Yeah.
It depends on everybody's view. Yeah.
View of the assassination attempt? What do you think? Does it kind of depend on where you're standing, whether or not you agree with the assassination attempt or disagree with it?
I just don't see that being the truth, but that's I'd rather just not make any comment.
Really quick, what are you talking about the truth? What do you mean? Oh, you just don't believe it was an assassination attempt?
No.
Please don't.
No.
We're so anti-Trump. I don't even want to.
Was it a bad thing, though? Was it a bad thing? Would you condemn it?
Oh, that he got shot at? Of course.
Yeah, you never do that.
Of course, you don't do that.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, exactly. You don't do that. Was it staged? Probably.
Staged?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think Trump maybe staged a fake assassination for support? Okay. And that resulted in somebody dying and other people being critically injured?
I haven't seen the news today. I'm not here for the news. I haven't seen anything. I'm on vacation.
You guys, Alex Jones was fined an insane amount of money for spreading the idea that those kids were not killed at a school in a school shooting, right? You basically have individuals here doing the same thing, that those people did not die, or that gentleman did not die at that event, and they get away with it. Again, that's the time we're living in, where Democrats, the progressive left side of the aisle, wants to sit here. It's okay for them to do things, but when Republicans or conservatives like Alex Jones say batshit crazy things, huge fines, right? Donald Trump writes off a legal expense because he paid his lawyer, which is what you do, for allegedly some hush money, which it wasn't. And he sits there and he is found guilty. Hillary Clinton's campaign does the exact same thing. Nothing happens. It's a remarkable double standard.
So you just thought it was fake?
Of course.
One person died in the crowd, 2 critically injured. What happened there?
Small price. It wouldn't matter to Trump. Do you think he cares if people die for him to be elected? Death doesn't mean anything to Trump.
Now, staged from whose side? Do you think Donald Trump staged it for attention?
Could be, or it could be the other side trying to make a scene or something. But I don't. The fact that he only got his ear and he would stood up and said America. I don't know. Come on.
Right.
It doesn't feel normal.
What is our evidence for suggesting that it was a fake assassination attempt?
I think that he walked away alive with perhaps a scratch on his ear.
Yeah, it grazed his ear.
Yeah. Of course, behind the scenes, that was all fabricated. Some noise, they put a little scratch on his ear, threw a little blood on his face.
Now, so you think that they planned from 130 yards away to shoot off the corner of his ear?
And they never shot off the corner of his ear. That was all done by the people hanging around him. Nobody ever shot off his ear.
Okay. So you just see it grazing his ear as maybe not real. What about the people that died what about the father that died in the stand, as well as the others that were critically injured?
I don't know. I can't tell, but to me it just looks like it was planned, and bless that guy's soul for dying for this cause. I'm so sorry for that person's family.
So you think, if we're thinking that that's a big thing to think, is that Donald Trump's administration faked an assassination, got people killed to try to do this. What would you say our reasoning is for saying that, or we have no reasoning?
Just the feeling. Just the feeling.
I haven't paid attention to anything right now because that's not where my mind is at right now. Right. So as of right now, I just, like I said.
These people are voting, you guys. These people are voting. It's not where my mind's at right now. I wasn't paying attention, but it was all fake. This is the thinking of some. This is to be fair, this is a deeper issue than what I want to get into. This all starts with our education system. Actually, it starts at the home. Okay, people not educating their kids themselves to think critically through things. Okay, so it starts at the home, and then it sits there and progresses into the education system, where you basically have people just passing through the system that they don't know jack shit. They don't know how to critically think. They don't know how to problem solve, and so they get passed through. And this is what gets produced. I'm not saying I'm a gem. I'm not saying I'm a savant here in terms of thinking and knowing things, but I'm not going to sit there and go, it was all fake, it wasn't real, and not have actual concrete evidence. In the same way, I can have an opinion that I think it's possibly an inside job because I stated the probability of somebody getting within 400 feet of the president on a roof that was seen for 30 minutes ahead of time, was seen being yelled at by people on the ground, people that were Trump supporters watching the rally for multiple minutes that we have on tape, and nobody took the guy out. Nobody sat there and handled it differently. The guy was on the actual roof with a ladder and had to travel there with an AR-15 with 50 rounds, with a rangefinder, with a transmitter, with a cell phone, 400 feet from the president at a speaking engagement, with like one of 5 buildings that were in the area, 2 of which were being not apprehended, but overtaken by, counter sniper team. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying the probability of all this happening is extremely low. Okay. And by the way, that assessment was based on things that are there. This dude right here is going, well, I haven't really read anything or seen anything, but it's all staged. At least I've sat there. I was covering it live when it happened. Okay? I've looked at the video. I run the show. We see it, right? At least my interpretation of what took place has some evidence behind it. There's probably a reason why we haven't had the entire JFK information out. I'd imagine Trump's probably going to release the rest of it if he ever gets elected again, and we hope he does. So you saw a little bit of the media about 48 hours ago, sit there and go in front of Donald Trump Jr. 48 hours after Donald Trump was basically almost assassinated and pushing this whole BS. You saw The View saying this rhetoric's okay. It's okay to call Donald Trump a threat, Hitler, a fascist, all these names, including his followers such as you and I. It's okay for Joe Biden and his DHS advisory board to say any MAGA supporters or prior military service members or anybody that's religious is a terror risk in their own country. And they're completely blown away when bad things happen to Republicans or conservatives or Donald Trump because of the type of stuff that they're spewing here. We don't call for violence here on the show. We've asked for more police. We don't call for harming or hurting people whatsoever. I don't want any of that. If any of my viewers on the show don't know that, we don't want violence. I don't want anybody hurt. You have no right to put your hands on anybody. You have no right to just go walk up and punch somebody in the face. Don't even put yourself in those situations because people are crazy. Don't even bother with it. By the way, a lot of Republicans and conservatives don't bother with it because people are crazy. You don't know if some dude's going to pull a gun on you and hurt you or try to knife you. Kids nowadays will come up and just punch you in the back of the head. They don't care who you are. Don't even engage with anybody. People are wild and psycho. And speaking of wild and psycho people, there was a lady, Rachel Morin, who was speaking. Let me just read this in general here. This is what MSNBC is covering while Rachel Morin's brother is pouring his heart out on stage. They won't platform everyday Americans. They don't want to acknowledge the consequences of the radical left's actions. So there was a speaker that was pouring their heart out regarding, I think it was fentanyl. Don't quote me on that. I think it was a fentanyl death or something to do with drugs. I think I might be totally butchering this. And correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, you guys, please. But here's, at the end of the day, the clip is just them just treating people just very disgusting, and just the way they handled it was completely wrong. Of course, it's MSNBC.
Sorry, go ahead. I just want to note that when it was coined, Everyday American rubbed me the wrong way, but it seems to have taken off. Just want to note that Everyday American, which is the title for the individual speaking right now, has seemed to work. I didn't think that had legs, but it has.
And I want to make sure I get this right, but it's just a remarkable thing that the media sit there and they get away with this stuff, and they've reverted in less than 72 hours, 72 hours going back to how they were in 2016. So the brother of murdered Maryland mom Rachel Morin spoke Tuesday at the Republican National Convention. Morin, a mother of 5, was found raped and murdered along Harford County, this trail. Her suspected killer was Victor Hernandez, who police say was in the county illegally and was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There was another individual that was speaking about fentanyl death. There's been so many speakers, I can't keep track, so I wanted to make sure I get that right in real time. Again, that's coming from the WJZ News. You can find it everywhere else, or just listen to the damn speech yourself. But you understand what I mean. So that's where that's coming from right there. It's a terrible, terrible situation. But that's the type of people these media are, you guys. They're gonna sit there and don't talk about everyday Americans. I think she was an everyday American. She was a mother of 5. And because the party that MSNBC wants to lick the feet of and rub the shoulders of consistently don't want to acknowledge the fact that their party is allowing illegal immigrants to pour across this country. Some of them are good. They still have no right to be here. Some of them are good. Some of them are also bad, that are raping and murdering and killing people. That's why I think it was Ted Cruz, right? Didn't Ted Cruz just list like a ton of people at the RNC yesterday during his speech that have passed away due to illegal immigration? One thing I want to spotlight here again, we're talking about the media here, and that was the title, right? The Democrats and the media are going back to their old selves. So you have Savannah Hernandez, who I think is with Turning Point Action now, goes and confronts CNN, MSNBC, and all these outlets at the RNC. We got multiple clips here, folks. Hang with us. We're not just done yet. Here she is confronting the whole team at CNN about covering up Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Check this out.
Hi, y'all. I was just wondering, you guys refused to report on the incompetence of Joe Biden, and I was just wondering if you guys were told not to report on that, or if you guys really were that ignorant. The entire American public, for some reason, was able to see that Joe Biden was grossly incompetent and that he's been in cognitive decline for a long time. However, you guys just started reporting this. Dana, can I ask you about this? Dana, you're a respected reporter. Why is it that you guys just started to report on the decline of Joe Biden?
Good question.
Don't you feel like you have a responsibility to the public? not to lie to them about the cognitive decline of Joe Biden? Sir, I'm here with CNN. I can't get very close to them because their security guard is blocking me. But we've got Jake Tapper here, we've got Chris Wallace, we also have Dana Bash. Now, I've been asking them why they have been lying to the American public about the mental decline of Joe Biden. None of you guys would like to respond to that at all? No? Dana, you're a very respected journalist. Jake, not so much respected, but people listen to you still. Would any of you guys like to respond to?
This is what the media does. This is what the deep state does, covering up information and not getting the truth out to the American people. This is not a republic. This is not a democracy, what you're seeing here. You should be confronted with why you sat there and covered up Biden's mental state, the American people, for 3.5 years. And in a span of less than 24 hours after Donald Trump destroyed Joe Biden in that debate, you all of a sudden come out and say, whoa, Joe Biden's bad. Oh my God, did you see what he just did, man? He's bad. He's not there. Joe Biden is not with us. Joe Biden is not sane. Joe Biden is not he's not even in himself. I don't know. Joe Biden is dead. Joe Biden's basically dead. I'm not asking for him to be dead. Joe Biden is gone. Weekend at Bernie's. So because CNN, MSNBC won't get the truth out to people, we got to have everyday Americans, baby, coming out and doing it for us. Check this clip out.
Service issue and to reach out to the Secret Service. But I
Watch
can
behind
tell you this. They have a lot of questions as to who exactly at the Trump campaign knew and when, because I have talked to a number of people who have been on the ground.
Oh, you love it. Where is the Jeffrey Epstein client list? Yeah. Isn't that remarkable? We know everything there is to know about Donald Trump. I mean, we know so much about Donald Trump now because there's been so many investigations. We know his bowel movement schedule. We don't know anything about the Jeffrey Epstein client list. We know nothing about Hillary Clinton and all those things. We know nothing about this shooter. It's just, we know more about this shooter now than we actually do about Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Isn't that a remarkable thing?
The former president in recent days and weeks.
I love this guy with the cowboy hat. Look at him.
Now, one thing to remember is that Donald
got
Trump
the beer belly going a little bit.
Tight-knit security team. He has been with the same detail for years.
Oh, aren't Republicans great? Aren't conservatives freaking great? We love them. God, we're the best party. We're the best party, you guys. Not even close. So here she is again. We're not going to play the entire clip, but here she is again earlier at the RNC going after, and that face right there, Jake Tapper, tells you everything you need to know how this clip's going to go for him.
We're here. What do you think about Joe Biden's remarks the other day that it was time for President Trump to be put in the bullseye? Do you think that Joe Biden should issue an apology for calling for President Trump to be put in a bullseye? Do you think that CNN's rhetoric and their demonization of Donald Trump over these last 8 years has led to people opening fire on President Trump, almost assassinating him on stage? As one of the biggest offenders and perpetuators of fake news, that's why President Trump calls you fake tapper, do you have any remorse for your reporting, which has led to an attempted assassination on President Trump?
He's on the phone, you guys. He's too busy to address all those questions. They're better than us, you guys. Remember, the media are better than all of us. They know everything, right? That's why they're asking, like, editors at these major outlets are asking not to push the Donald Trump with his fist in the air with the American flag in the back. They don't want this guy in office, you guys. They are reverting back to who they were. We had a glimpse of truth. We had a glimpse of truth, maybe 4 days of them actually asking the questions that the American people have been asking for years. So out of like 1,000 days, we got 4 days of the media actually doing their job, but that was gone real quick. Now they're back to sitting and rubbing the feet and the shoulders of gross-ass Joe Biden and pushing this whole thing. Hey, you know what? As you saw, there's a reason why these people, right, on the Democrat side of the aisle think this whole thing was staged. What a remarkable thing. Again, the take was on that of these people saying that Donald Trump's assassination was staged. Folks, these are the same people that think that Joe Biden's sharp, that he has no cognitive decline, that he has no dementia or anything. Like he has no Parkinson's. He's 100% good. The guy can go run 26 miles today if he wanted to. This is how like gone. These people are not on our planet. They're not with us. Somehow they made it They made it through adolescence. They made it through their teenage years. Somehow they got a high school diploma. Somehow they got a degree at a university. Wild. It's wild. Let's get to some other random news, folks. We got Elon Musk announcing that SpaceX headquarters is moving out of California. It's about damn time, Elon. And the reason for that was because Gavin Newsom, you guys, this is how California is. California is not going to notify parents and families when their kid is wanting to be called a different name and wants to be assigned a different gender. So if they're male and their name is Brian, but now they want to be female and go by Stacy, that's a big deal, because there's something going on in the brain that's wires are crossed. Because you're a biological male, your name is Brian, you're not a woman, you're not Stacy. Okay, you have a legal name, you have a birth certificate. There's all this process that's done. If your child is saying, hey, something's going on, you probably want to address this, especially since I don't even know if we say suicide anymore on YouTube. Well, we're on Rumble, who cares? The suicide rate is like extremely high for those that are on that side, the LGBTQ side, the trans side. I think parents should know. You guys know this, right? Teacher here. I'm going to side with the parents. It's your kid. It's not my kid. I'm not the parent. I think you have a right to know everything you want to know about what I see and hear in the classroom with your child. I am on parents' side here. Democrat, Republican, don't matter. I think you have a right to know what's going on with your kid. You want to know if your kid's chewing gum when he's not supposed to be? I'll tell you. I'll rat the person out. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'll tell you whatever you want. I'll tell you anything and everything. Yeah, the kid was on their phone the entire class period. I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, the kid wants to be called Stacy and he thinks he's a female. He's not. But now you can't do that in California. You'll actually be fired. You'll be let go. They're putting teachers in a position that's not just, in my opinion, harmful to the student, but also harmful to the parents and the family. Because you can't work a situation out on a situation you know nothing about. And so you have to understand that a lot of people are targeting teachers, and I've explained this before, you guys. There's conservative Republican teachers out there that are mandated by the state to do things. You might say, well, just quit your job then. You know, true. Or you could just go find a place that, you know, like a private institution that doesn't do those types of things. But what I'm saying is they're mandated to do certain things. And by the way, you'd be giving up a pension if you're in the public school system. There's reasons why they kind of follow suit. They got a family to feed. And things are expensive here where you can't just exactly quit your job and then go work at McDonald's. It's close to it now, but, you know, and pay your bills. So Gavin Newsom implemented that. And Elon Musk said, well, because of this law and many others that preceded, attacking both families and companies, SpaceX will now move its headquarters from Hawthorne, California to Texas. So you basically just lost a ton of tax money. Nice job, Gavin, you fucking idiot. Gavin's such an idiot. He is such an idiot. So there's the receipts for you. Gavin Newsom signed AB 1955 today, which bans schools from making rules requiring parental notification. Getting your kids out of public schools, folks. I would highly recommend you do not put your kids in public school if you can. Homeschool them if you need to. You are the number one educator of your child. It's not a teacher in the classroom that's with them for 45 minutes a day. We're not their parents. We're there to teach them the concepts of mathematics, English, whatever it is. Of course, we could teach them some sort of morality. Be on class on time. Turn your homework in on time. You know, basic things I think everybody can get around. I'm not there to guide your kid through transgender stuff. I'm not there to talk to them about sex or anything. We're not there for any of that. Nor do I want to be. Weird as hell and uncomfortable. Okay? But there's teachers, I call them activist teachers, that will do those things. Gavin Newsom's going to sit there and allow this stuff to happen. And Elon Musk says, I'm not having that. I'm moving out. So you lose a lot of tax money because I believe your taxes is based on the area in which you're in. But he also does business, but you understand what I mean. So with that being said, I just want to give the receipts again as well. I want to make sure that we back up what we're saying. We can't do it all the time because we say things that happened 3 years ago. I'm not going to look up every single thing when I'm riffing. But there you have it. Prohibit school districts, county offices of education, charter schools, and state special schools, and a member of the governing board or body of those educated entities from enacting or enforcing a policy rule. So there you have it. California, these politicians think they know what's better for your kid than you do. That's a dangerous thing to be in. And you are getting closer and closer as time goes on to people coming and taking your kids away. So I want to explain something here. There's been a lot of talks about If you don't sit there and accept your kid as a transgender kid, so if your child's telling you 8 years old, we'll say 5 years old, doesn't matter. Daddy, I'm a female, I'm a woman, I want to be called Stacy, even though biologically they're a male and their name's Brian, and you gave them that name, but they're gonna tell you what they are, even though they can't even sit there and tell you the difference between this or that. Um, you have to abide by that. If you don't do so, guess who's gonna be knocking on your door and taking your kid away? Child Protective Services. That's the conversation that we're getting into now. That's the realm that we're getting into. And this is what happens when the Democrat Party gets to run your state. Not only do they run it into the ground, but also they're creating and getting to the point where you can't turn the state around. California is gone. New York City is gone. Portland, Oregon is gone. Seattle, Washington is gone. Chicago is gone. These are areas, yes, in states. There's also entire states. California's gone. They ain't coming back. Washington's gone. Like, there's certain states, you guys, that there is no recovering from. And if it is, it's going to take longer than a lifespan. Democrats have destroyed California so bad, there is no coming back from it, and I believe that. This state is doomed. People are leaving. It's not like you can just come back, you guys. It's not that easy. Some people can. Once you leave, it's very hard to come back in. Things are getting more expensive, so people are fleeing. They're getting the hell out of Dodge. This place is crumbling, and the Democrat Party is responsible. They are responsible, and it's the voters that vote Democrat as well. They love this shit, you guys. Please understand, Democrats love this stuff. And I'm using Democrats as a party. There's a reason why there's predominantly crime and homelessness and all these fentanyl and all these drugs and stuff taking place in Democrat ran areas. They love it, you guys. They love the homeless. They love watching people OD. They love watching these ransacking and these crimes and all this stuff take place. They love the fact that these politicians can tell you what you can and can't do with your kids. They love guiding kids through these transition phases of getting their breasts and genitals lopped off. They love it, you guys. You have to understand that. You saw the video. These people think this whole assassination was staged. The same people that think this assassination was staged are the same people that think Joe Biden is sane, that Joe Biden is sharp. He's physically fit. This guy can go out and run a marathon tomorrow. He can do calculus upside down, blindfolded, listen to Metalhead or something. These people are not with us. Like, they are so far gone, just like Joe Biden. They're voting. Like, things like Prop 47 and smash and grabs are taking place. Businesses are being looted. People are being murdered. People are being assaulted in the streets. These are the same people that wanted to remove the police, you guys. These are the same people that want to sit there and trans your kids. These are the same people, dude, that want to sit there and teach your kid how to masturbate and use butt plugs at a 3rd grade level in New Jersey. All right, we've shown all this stuff. The same people that want to allow terrorists in your country because they think they're good people. These are the same people that attacked Donald Trump for calling MS-13 violent gang members animals and said they're not animals, they're good people, they just want a good life. Yeah, the same people that cut your head off and use it as a soup bowl, pull out your teeth and wear it as a necklace, shave off the scalp of your head and use it as a rug. These Democrats think they're good people. They want to harbor these people. They want to help these people. They want to guide these people. These are the same people in the state of California that want to give homeless people drugs. They want to give homeless people vodka that we covered 3 weeks ago so they're not impacting our hospitals because they're having an OD or they're having withdrawals from their addiction. So they figured they would just give them the drugs and give them the alcohol so they don't have that impact on our hospitals. This is the same people that are voting for Joe Biden, folks. You got to understand this whole idea that you're going to get along and change their viewpoint. It's so far gone at this point, it's not going to happen. That's why I say be careful with who you're having conversations with. It doesn't mean anything. These people think Donald Trump's assassination was staged. I mean, you remember back in the day, I know I'm going on a tangent here in a rift, but you guys like it. Remember back in the day, like you would see somebody talking to themselves, you're like, dude, that guy's crazy. Democrats, that's completely normal, you guys. They don't think there's like a mental disability going on that the person should seek help. All these people are passed out on the streets you see in LA, Chicago, Portland, Oregon, all these places. Democrats are fine with it, you guys. They want to give them a right to shelter. They should be on the streets suffering in the cold, being addicted to drugs, not knowing what the F's going on. If they didn't like it, why vote for it? If they didn't love it, why allow it to happen? If they didn't thrive with it, why allow Gavin Newsom to continue to be governor, even though there was a recall for him? Please understand, Democrats love this stuff. If they didn't, you wouldn't see it happening. They love it. They will continue to love it, and they're going to vote for Joe Biden again, folks. And with that being said, that is today's show. I hope you appreciate it. Thank you so much for the chat. I see you guys. I see a lot of you. Some of you are saying thank you for the commentary. No, thank you, Red. I greatly appreciate it. We got Greg there. Going back to Scott Adams. Yep, I prefer tea. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. I don't want to say I just hopped in here, but I got kind of glanced. I'll be leaving California when I retire in 2 years. Danielle, it's a great thing. If we get the show up and running, I will be doing the exact same thing, my friend. I will be out of here so quick. That's sad. I haven't been to the West Coast in over a decade. Oh, don't come to the West Coast, man. Tell you what, even the places you thought would be good, like San Diego. I was in San Diego. We actually did a live in San Diego and just we counted like 20, 30 homeless people in 10 minutes or something. Did you have a nice lunch with your mom? I did have a nice lunch with my mom. I think, yeah, we went down to, you saw Huntington on, where's the clip? Let me show you. Here. You saw, so this is down in, okay, well, it's not going to let me go to the clip. I don't know why sometimes this doesn't work. There we go. This is down in Huntington. So James Klug is in my area, so I'm closer to Huntington. But we went down to Seal yesterday. Had some lunch. We saw Beach and Seal Beach. We walked in there and said hi to Frank and Jen. They're great. It was a nice day, and the weather was perfect. I mean, you know how California weather is. It's perfect. It was like 72 degrees. We walked on the pier, so it was a very nice day. And you know, my dad's not around anymore. Passed away 6 years ago, so it's nice to see my mom. And you know, and that's it was nice. I appreciate that. Thank you for asking. Hope you guys have a great day. We might be back later today. I don't know. We'll see what happens for sure tomorrow, but we might catch some speeches tonight. Always be on the lookout, folks. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you tomorrow here on the Overhead Show.